I want my students to know how humans have changed the world. Whether they were heroes or bad, or whether it was something small or something grand, but humans have changed the world. Ultimately, I want my students to change their own world. I think educators have this innate desire to want to change the world, and when I see my students, they're young, they're immature, they still feel very restricted in some ways, and I want them to know that they can do anything. And look at all these people from the past who've done just about anything, and you can do the same thing too.
She made me want to major in history and to become a teacher.
She's one of those teachers that she loves to teach, and I can see that. You know, she's devoted to us, she wants us to learn.
I learned how to be very responsible. Like in my previous classes, I didn't have deadlines, so just okay, you can just turn it in whenever you feel like it. But no, that class, it was due that day. It was due that day.
I learned a lot actually. I learned how to be more organized and how to take notes and make it easier for you instead of having to struggle and have more stress. She did teach me how to be more responsible.
She's very dynamic in the classroom. She is somebody who really has a passion for teaching students, working with our kids.
I teach history, but I want them to feel and know history and understand why it's still alive and how they can use that as they move into the future. We use history and the social sciences to fight poverty and homelessness. We use history and the social sciences in my classroom at least, to create empathy and compassion. I want my students to understand human experience. In my classroom, I focus a lot on collaborative groups. We work in groups daily. Of course, there is an element of direct teach, but really if you were to walk into my room, the students are usually interacting. They're problem solving, they're discussing, bouncing ideas off one another. The difficulties that I feel I face in the classroom don't pertain to students. Children are children, and we have our good and our bad days. I feel that the difficulty that we face, and I think a lot of teachers feel pressure, is from testing. The testing, I feel, that's not so much of an issue. It is what the culture of testing leaves out, and I think that is the innovative and industrious risk-taking that teachers need to do in the classroom. I think that teaching is a sacred profession. I think the profound act of being able to impact a child's life trajectory is outrageously awesome. I mean, to me, it's sacred.